Hi, my name is Justin Carney, and this is why you should watch sports. In 2017, it was estimated that 105 million people in the United States watched live sports on TV. And for the fourth consecutive year, the National Basketball Association broke its attendance record, this year getting just over 22 million people to their games. My favorite teams are the Iowa State Cyclones and the Kansas City Royals. I attend Iowa State University, and I have the season ticket pass, so I get into every single sporting event. My two favorite games to go to are the football and basketball games. Me and my friends camp out outside Hilton in the 20-degree weather when it's snowing, just to get a good spot in line for the basketball games. This past year we weren't very good, but hopefully we get back and be competitive next year. The football games are really fun at Iowa State. There's a bunch of people tailgating hours before kickoff in the parking lots, grilling hot dogs and hamburgers. It's a good time. Atmosphere is always fun. We usually fill up the stadium. Last year we had a really good team and made it to a bowl game, so hopefully we can do it again next year. I'm from Kansas City, and my favorite sports team is the Kansas City Royals. When I was growing up, they weren't very good, but in 2014, they made it to the playoffs for the first time in 30 years, and I was able to go to some of those games, and it was an unbelievable experience that I'll never forget. In 2015, the year after, they made it back to the playoffs and actually won the World Series and beat the Mets in 5 games. I was up at school for that, watching every game on TV. It was so much fun. Best feeling I've ever had when watching sports. That's some of the fun things that sports allows us to do, but here's something that they do in the community. This is a Houston Texans football player, J.J. Watt. Last year during Hurricane Harvey in Houston, he donated $100,000 of his own money and then started a donation page that let anyone donate to the relief efforts. And they ended up raising over $10 million for Hurricane Harvey relief efforts. And something a little closer to home, some of my favorite players, Danny Duffy on the Kansas City Royals. And this little guy, his name's Noah. He's a big Royals fan as well. A couple years ago, he was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 6. And when he was doing all his treatments and getting poked and prodded, they didn't have any cool bandages for him. They just had those plain brown ones. And it was his idea that no kid in the hospital should have to have those boring bandages. They should get to have fun bandages with cartoons on them. So him and his family made the Noah's Bandage Project, which has gotten big around the Kansas City area. And they've partnered with the Royals, and they've donated hundreds of thousands of cool bandages to children's hospitals around the Kansas City area. And unfortunately, Noah passed away 3 years ago, but the Royals still carry his legacy on. And this year, Danny Duffy, that pitcher, is donating $1,000 to the Noah's Bandage Project for every strikeout that he gets this year. Some other reasons you should try giving sports a watch. Going to the games are a lot of fun. This is the Kansas City Chiefs football stadium. Everyone tailgates there. It's a huge, wide-open parking lot. People are playing games several hours before the kickoff, and it's just an awesome atmosphere. Some people have these huge vans and trucks with huge buffet, and they don't even go into the game sometimes. They just sit out there and throw the football around. Another great reason to watch sports is you get to see some of the best athletes do what they do best. Here's LeBron James carrying his team to a championship a couple years ago. It's fun not only watching him, but some of the best baseball and soccer players. It's crazy what they can do out on the field, and something that I aspire to be when I play. From my own personal experience with watching sports, I never used to be a huge hockey fan because we don't have a team around here. So me and a couple buddies last year decided to start cheering for the Vegas Golden Knights. They're an expansion team in the NHL. This was their first year, and we kind of did it as a joke at first because we thought they were going to be a bad team because they're an expansion team, so they got all the leftover players from all the other teams that they didn't want. But they rallied together, they had an underdog mentality, and ended up having the best record out of any expansion team in NHL history. They made it to the playoffs and ended up losing to the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup final. But it was a lot of fun watching them. I've never been that enthralled with hockey, and I was sitting in front of the TV every game cheering them on. It was a lot of fun. So if you are a sports fan, I'd like to hear what your favorite team is. But if you aren't, I would consider watching these World Cup finals. Quarterfinals are going on Friday. I've been watching every game so far, It's crazy watching all the country's fans go to Russia and cheer them on louder than you could ever expect. So if you're not a sports fan, go ahead and check out this Friday. First game's at 9 a.m. Central. We got France against Uruguay. And then the following game's in the afternoon at 1 p.m. Brazil against Belgium. Let me know what you think.